Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admissions Counseling College Fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event and have some really fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Karis, and I will be your facilitator. So before we get started, I have just a few housekeeping items. The first one you've probably already noticed, your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists can't see or hear you. You can, however, use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of the many sessions happening, so be sure that you have checked that schedule out on the website so you don't miss out. Finally, this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. Those are all my announcements, and so I will go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter and institution, which will be Penn State. Hey, Katie, looks like you're still muted, so if you could just unmute yourself, we'll be good to go.
Sorry about that. Gotta love Zoom. Hi, everyone. My name's Katie Patterson. I am an admissions counselor here at Penn State. I'm also a Penn State graduate. My colleague Matt is also here. He'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions that you have in the Q&A, even while I'm presenting. So today we're just going to go quickly about some of the great things about Penn State. Penn State University is a large major research university. We do have 20 different campuses, which I will show in a minute or two. And that has our total super size of enrollment of over 95,000 students university-wide. So we are a multi-campus system with 20 different campuses located throughout the entire state of Pennsylvania. So just some quick facts. Here we are a world-class university, and as one of the premier higher education institutions in the world, you get the best education possible here at Penn State. Recently, we were ranked number 53 out of more than 18,000 institutions by the Center for World University. I apologize. We do have a graduation rate that is 25% higher than the national average. Admitting the right students and supporting them academically as they move through their education onto what comes next. For some students, it may be full-time work, and we have a highly ranked career services that help you with those interviews, resume prep, writing cover letters. And also our career services do also help you with, if you're thinking of applying to medical school, law school, or some other graduate program, we will definitely be there to help prepare you. And while we are a large university, we are able to maintain a student to faculty ratio of 16:1. We are also a research one institution. You can't get any better than that, with over $1 billion in annual research funding that comes from government agencies, businesses, nonprofits. And we do have these research opportunities across all disciplines. We don't have a major here at Penn State if research is not a possibility within that major. We also rank 5th in the country, both in terms of study abroad programs and our number of students who study abroad. So we do have over 300 different programs in 54 different countries. So definitely that's a possibility for you to have while you are a student at Penn State. So throughout our Penn State system and across our 20 different campuses, we have over 275 majors and 185 minors. These are all housed in academic homes called colleges. The majority of our students simply start out in a college, and then you do declare your specific major sometime during that second year of your education. And we do this because we know that nationally, 75% of students do change their major at least once. And if you're unsure what you want to do, we do have a division of undergraduate studies where you have time to explore with the guidance of an advisor. We do offer a few programs that are direct admit into the program, so directly into the major, such as nursing, and many of our majors that are found in the College of Arts and Architecture. We do have over 1,200 different clubs and activities across those 20 campuses. Many are based on social, religious, cultural organizations. Also, we have many organizations that are based in service. We have ones that are just tied to things that you're interested in, such as maybe hiking or gaming, things along those lines. We do also have many clubs and organizations that are purely academic that do offer you networking opportunities and also give you that opportunity to meet other people within your major. We do have intramural sports. Many of these organizations, these clubs and activities do offer you the potential to have leadership opportunities, which really does help you in your resume. And one of the best ways to get involved is through joining these different clubs and organizations, especially ones that may be outside of your comfort zone. Probably my biggest piece of advice is to definitely get involved on campus. So like I said, we are one university that's geographically spread throughout the state of Pennsylvania. All of our campuses range from 500 to 5,000 students, and then our University Park campus that does have 46,000 undergrads. Each of these campuses do have their own campus culture, location, and Penn State experience, but they are all one Penn State. No matter where you start or finish, it is a Penn State education and a Penn State degree. And here's a map of the state of Pennsylvania where all of our different campuses are located. We do offer housing at many of these different campuses. They'll have the little houses that are in the blue bubbles. So we have many different campus locations. Some are rural, some are in big cities, some are more suburban. And many of our students do participate in what we call our 2+2 program. In fact, over 50% of our students. So that is where you spend your first 2 years at one Penn State campus and then transition to a different Penn State campus for your final 2 years. So you could, for instance, do 2 years at Penn State Barrington, Erie, PA, and then your final 2 years at the University Park campus. So here is how we apply. We accept the application either directly through the Penn State website. We also do accept the Common App and the Coalition app. We do have you fill out and complete a self-reported academic record. This is essentially your high school transcript. So you'll list all the classes and the grades you received in those classes from 9th through 11th grade, as well as your schedule for your senior year. And if you did happen to take any high school level course in middle school, which we sometimes see that as being like Algebra 1, geometry, maybe the first year of a world language, that there's also an area for you to include that as well. As for SAT and ACT test scores, we are test optional through 2023. So you will have the opportunity to decide if you'd like to include your test scores within the evaluation of your application. And each student who applies to Penn State does have to create a My Penn State profile. This is where you'll see your offer of admission, also where you'll accept or decline that offer of admission, as well as any financial aid will be located here as well. And here's a good way to kind of estimate your eligibility when you're looking at maybe the University Park campus and the Commonwealth campuses. This is just a middle 50%. So there's no cutoffs or guarantees, just the middle 50% of our current first year students. And some of the benefits of a Penn State education is the brand recognition. You have the access to our powerful alumni network, which really helps with jobs, internships, and fundraising. And you'll have that that help for your whole life, not just 4 years, but for a lifetime. And thank you.
Sounds great. Our next institution that will be presenting tonight is Rutgers New Brunswick.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Marlena and I'm representing Rutgers University, New Brunswick. Rutgers New Brunswick is the flagship state university of New Jersey, and we are rooted in rich pride, history, and tradition, but we are always looking towards the future to grow and meet the needs of our students. Rutgers is founded in 1766, making us the 8th oldest institution for learning, and we're older than the United States itself, which is a really fun fact that we're very proud to share with prospective students. Here at Rutgers, we have 3,600 undergraduate students studying in over 100 majors in 11 schools within the university. Our students participate in over 750 clubs and organizations. They play on one of 24 D1 sports, and they also study abroad in over 180 programs in 50+ countries. A special thing to note about Rutgers is we are also known as a world-renowned research institution. Many corporations choose to have research centers and funding for Rutgers. So we have 175+ research centers on campus that students can take advantage of as early as their first year. Rutgers is also in the top 1% of universities worldwide, and we are in the Big Ten along with Penn State and many other of our peers in that academic alliance. It's not just an athletic athletic conference. There's so much more to the Big Ten than just athletics. So Rutgers is a big school, and at a big school, there are big opportunities, but we promise you that big numbers does not mean that you will be lost in the shuffle. Over 60% of our classes have fewer than 30 students, and our student faculty ratio is still 16:1, which I do think is impressive for a school of our size. The way that our campus is designed, we have 4 neighborhoods, so each student will find their niche and their home at Rutgers very quickly. A little bit about our campus. These are some pictures, obviously, but Rutgers New Brunswick is really located in the heart of New Jersey, which is home to 75 corporate headquarters, including J&J International, which is actually surrounded by our campus. In addition, we have a train station right on campus, and you can be in New York City in about 45 minutes and Philadelphia in about 90 minutes. So the opportunities both within the state as well as in New York City and Philadelphia mean that students have extensive access to internships, and not just in the summer, but during the year as well. The New York City access is especially attractive for our business students as well as our fine art students. And those are 2 of our most popular majors, by the way, business and fine arts, because they can take advantage of programs such as the Road to Wall Street and then internships on Broadway in the arts districts. But you don't need to go to New York for entertainment. New Brunswick has so much to offer our students with shops, restaurants, and businesses all within walking distance of campus. So these are all of the schools that students can apply to at Rutgers. And the most important thing that I want you to take away from this short little presentation is that if you choose to submit an application to Rutgers, you're not applying to a specific major, you're just applying to a specific school. And each school at Rutgers has their own academic qualifications. So admission at Rutgers is based upon the competitiveness of each individual school. And on the application itself, you can apply up to 3 schools. So that's the most important thing I want you to remember is you can apply up to 3 schools, and you'll be receiving an admissions decision from any and all schools that you apply to. Academically, our students are motivated, curious, and interdisciplinary. Many have double majors and minors. We have honors programs in some of our colleges, and we have an interdisciplinary honors college where 500 of the best of our students from across the university live, study, and work on solving real world problems. There seems to be a delay with sharing my slides, so I do apologize for that. But similar to Penn State, when you apply to Rutgers, we also ask that you submit the self-reported academic record. And the science behind that is you can imagine the volume of applications we get. Pretty much every year we're receiving about 70,000 applications. So when you submit a self-reported academic record, it really just cuts down on the time that it takes to process transcripts, and we can match your files with your high school courses immediately. And the result is that you get an admissions decision faster. So please keep in mind platforms that you're applying to. For example, Penn State mentioned that they accept the Common App and they have their Penn State application. Rutgers accepts the Coalition application and the Rutgers application. So probably my biggest piece of advice to students is to really stay organized during the application process. You know, make a spreadsheet, have a notebook with all of your top schools, and keep track of all of the deadlines, because they do differ, and then the different platforms that you can use to apply to schools. The only thing I really want you to note about this slide is our deadlines, specifically the regular decision deadline of December 1st. That is the last day to apply for you to be considered for our merit-based scholarships and any honors opportunities. There is no separate application needed if you want to be considered for scholarships and honors opportunities. As long as you apply by the latest, the December 1st deadline, you are automatically reviewed and considered. And then if you have any further questions, these are some great websites and our contact. We would love to connect with you. So I'll drop my email in the chat for anyone who needs it. But thank you all so much for your time. And I look forward to meeting with you virtual and other settings. Thanks, everyone.
All right. And as a reminder, if you all have any questions for any of our presenters, be sure to put those in the Q&A and we will get to you as soon as we can. But I will keep things going with our next institution, which is American University of Paris.
Hi, everyone. All right, let me share my screen. All All right, so hi everyone, my name is Amanda. I am an assistant director of admissions at the American University of Paris. So a little facts about AUP. We are an American liberal arts school located in Paris. So we are fully accredited in the US. All classes are taught in English. We just happen to be located in the heart of Paris. Our campus body is comprised of about 1,115 students, 1,000 of which are undergrad students and 115 of which are graduate level students. Of our small campus size, we have 103 different nationalities represented on campus, and 65 different languages are spoken. In fact, over 60% of our student body speaks more than one language, and over 23% of our students have multiple passports. Our faculty are also internationally diverse as well, with 21 different nationalities represented, and 68% of faculty speak more than 3 languages. Our student to faculty ratio is 8:1, so small class sizes for sure. The average class size is about 12 to 15 students. So very discussion based, every voice is heard and valued in the classroom, and those different perspectives and just pretty much that entire discussion based learning environment is pivotal to your learning experiences in learning how to be a global citizen at the American University of Paris. So we have a bunch of different academic areas. We have about 26 different majors and 39 minors for our students. Our main departments are the arts and communication majors. We actually have a brand new arts building right on campus. Economics and management, international business administration is actually one of our most popular majors on campus. Computer science and psychology, even though these are programs that are found in most US schools, they definitely have an international element to them, being where we are. We actually have a partnership with the United Nations, their environmental program for our environmental science major and quantitative environmental science major as well. And then we also have history and politics majors. So international comparative politics and global communications are our other 2 most popular majors on campus. A lot of our students choose to get involved in internships as well. So being where we are, there are plenty of avenues to network and get involved in the local community. Some of the most recent internships that our students have participated in include BBC, United Nations, the US Embassy in France, Chanel, and Human Rights Watch. Our campus, so this slide goes over where we are located. So we are located in the 7th arrondissement in Paris, so which is the same neighborhood as the Eiffel Tower, and we are right on the Seine. So actually part of our orientation is a little boat party for our students on the Seine, where you can kind of get to meet other students in one of the most picturesque spots of France. All of those are our campus buildings. So as you can see, we're spread out over about 2 blocks. Some are connected by sidewalks. So you'll see familiar faces, but we are still an urban campus. Some more pictures of France. So being where we are, we want you to use Paris as part of your learning. So those daily conversations you're having in the classroom or the cafe, or even just commuting to campus is super important, and you're growing as a student and as a person. In regards to housing, we do supply housing for your first year. And then from the next 3 years after that, you are on your own, but we work with you to find proper housing arrangements. Everything comes furnished. You don't have to worry about necessarily bringing anything to campus. And they're all located within a close distance to campus as well. Even though you may be attending school abroad, we do offer cultural programs. So we allow our students to study abroad for a semester or even do an immersion program in the summer. So plenty of opportunities to kind of take advantage of our location in Europe and our accessibility to other cultures and countries as well. In regards to our admissions process, we are very similar to most US schools in the sense that we're on the Common Application, the FAFSA, pretty much everything that is similar to my previous presenters as far as what you are required to apply with. We are test optional, and we have been test optional since before the pandemic. And we plan to be for as long as we're around. So do not worry about test scores, but if you are proud of them, by all means, please do send them in. And we also do have an additional supplemental essay to AUP. We also offer scholarships and financial aid. So we offer merit-based scholarships. And like I said, we are on the FAFSA if you are applying for need-based aid. If you do attend an IB diploma school, we have an IB diploma scholarship as well to help offset the cost. And a little something that's a little bit different about our application process is that so our early action deadline is November 15th, priority admission deadline, so basically all applications by February 1st. And you go through the typical process. We host like admitted student event meetups in New York City and San Francisco, a bunch of different things like that. But then come May, you'll still be working with us in the admissions department if you do choose to attend AUP. I help walk you through applying for your first visa, signing up for classes, booking a flight, pretty much everything until the moment you're on campus. So you're never really alone in the process. We're kind of always working with you and making sure you're set to go. And that's really it. So if you want to connect with your admissions counselor, that's the QR code on the left. And then our admissions Instagram is on the right at AUP Admissions. They do student takeovers, highlight different clubs and events on campus. About 50% of our student body is from the US, so it's a great way to connect with other students that are thinking of studying at AUP that are coming from the United States as well to get started. Thank you.
All right, I'm just going to pull up my slides. All right, well, hello everyone, and thanks so much for joining us this evening. My name is Dalton Lewis, Associate Director of Admissions and Coordinator of International Recruitment at Hampshire College in Amherst, Massachusetts. We are most certainly the smallest college in this group, and I just want to say how great it is to be part of this very different group of colleges. And I'm also the representative for Pennsylvania, so I will make sure to leave my email address in the chat as well. So students, parents, counselors, please feel free to follow up with me afterwards if you have any questions about Hampshire. But to go ahead and get started with some basic information about Hampshire College, again, we are a very small private liberal arts college located in Western Massachusetts, the town of Amherst specifically, which is part of the 5 College Consortium area, something that I'll get into in just a little bit. We're located about 1.5 to 2 hours from Boston and 3 to 4 hours from New York City. So people think of Massachusetts, they think of Boston typically. We're out in the western part of the state, rural, beautiful area, and again, conveniently located between Boston and New York City. And the other important thing I want you to keep in mind as I go through this presentation is that Hampshire College was actually founded by the other members of the 5 College Consortium, which again, I'll talk about a little bit more in a few minutes. But we're probably one of the youngest institutions in this group here today, if not the youngest, having been founded in 1970. And the other 4 colleges in our consortium came together in the late 1960s and talked about ways that they could create a new, flexible, and modern education best suited to fit the needs of today's students. Hampshire was the product of that discussion. So as you'll see, we are very different from other colleges, even from other liberal arts colleges. And I kind of want to make that the focus of this presentation. What makes Hampshire different from all of the thousands of other colleges, from the hundreds of other liberal arts colleges, and why is this beneficial to you as a student? And there are 3 things I'm going to focus on in particular. First, again, the 5 College Consortium, which gives students access to nearly 6,000 classes and nearly 1,000 student groups and club sports teams. I'll also talk about the divisional system, which is our unique student-driven curriculum. Every student designs their own customized program of study in close collaboration with faculty advisors. And finally, I'll talk about narrative evaluations as well. And so that the slide is correct. We do not give students letter or number grades whatsoever. Instead, students receive detailed narrative feedback from each and every professor that they take a class with. So to dive into the specifics here, again, Hampshire is a member of the 5 College Consortium, and I'm sure you've heard of several of the other members of the consortium. You have Smith College and Mount Holyoke College, 2 of the oldest and most prestigious women's colleges in the country. You have Amherst College, one of the top-ranked liberal arts colleges in the country, and then the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, or UMass, as we call it for short. So again, as a Hampshire student, you have access to the incredible resources of nearly 6,000 classes every semester, including graduate level courses, if you work your way up quickly enough to qualify for those. So you have this very small campus environment at Hampshire and the personalized attention that comes with it, but the resources of 5 colleges at once. But even beyond the option to take classes at the other colleges in the consortium, you also have the option to join their student groups or club sports teams. So you have nearly 1,000 of those to choose from. There's also a free bus system that connects all of the 5 colleges together. So if you don't have a car or driver's license for that matter, no problem. It's actually one of the largest free bus systems in the country. And you can even strap your bike onto the front of the bus if you like. I may not have mentioned I'm a Hampshire alum, and that's something that I would always enjoy doing. Between the bike and the bus, you can get almost anywhere in the area. There are no extra tuition fees associated with utilizing the 5 College Consortium resources. It's included in your tuition costs at Hampshire. And even beyond that, you can use the libraries, the labs, the other academic facilities at the other colleges. You can arrange to have your meal plan transferred to one of the other colleges partially for the semester if you're taking a lot of classes at one of the other schools. And it's also just important to keep in mind, it's a really great place to be in school with over 30,000 other undergraduates around you. There are constantly fairs, festivals, concerts, lectures, you name it, all kinds of things happening, in addition to lots of restaurants and of course, coffee and tea shops to keep students caffeinated. Now, to focus in on Hampshire a little bit more, I'll talk about the divisional system, which again is our unique curriculum that allows every student to design their own customized program of study. So at most colleges, you have to declare a traditional major where you pick one subject. You may be able to pick a double major if you want, or a major and a minor. At Hampshire, every single student is required to choose at least 2 areas of study to combine together into a concentration instead. But that doesn't happen until the beginning of your second year at Hampshire, what we call Division 2. So during your first year, Division 1, you're just exploring, taking classes in different areas, and figuring out what you want to do with the rest of your time at Hampshire. In Division 2, you identify that interdisciplinary concentration, and you also pick your own faculty advisory committee. I think this is something that it's really important to highlight because most other colleges don't give you the option to pick 2 professors from whatever areas of study most relevant to your concentration who will work with you throughout this time. Your professors will help you pick classes, but they'll also help you identify internship and research assistantship opportunities. So 85% of our students do at least 1 internship or research assistantship, and 70% of students do at least 2 of those activities. And finally, once you get to the end of your time at Hampshire, the 4th year, or Division 3, as we call it, you move on to a comprehensive senior project that can take any number of different forms. So in my case, for example, I wrote a very long, dry economics research thesis, not everybody's cup of tea, but instead you could write a novel. You could put on a theater production or feature-length film. Students will complete scientific research experiments, design curriculum, software programs, even start their own business or nonprofit organization. And sometimes these Division 3 projects really take on a life of their own. So just to give you a few examples of students who started businesses in Division 3 projects that went on to be really successful. You have 7th Generation Cleaning Products, one of the largest natural home products company in the US. You have Stonyfield Farms Organic Yogurt, one of the largest organic dairy producers in the country, and Duolingo, the language learning app. All of those were started by Hampshire alums. And again, in some cases, they actually started working on those companies during their Division 3 years. The last thing I'll talk about is the narrative evaluation system that we use. So again, we do not give students traditional grades at Hampshire. Every class you take, you receive detailed narrative feedback from the professor. They talk about how you did in terms of meeting the goals of that class, what you did well, what your strengths are, and what you need to do to improve in the future. So narrative evaluations will tell you so much more about who you are as a student and how to grow as a learner, whereas a letter grade doesn't tell you so much about who you are. However, when you take classes at the other consortium colleges, you do receive traditional letter grades from them. So a Hampshire transcript is really kind of like a mini book all about you as a student, with a couple of traditional grades peppered in. And this means that Hampshire graduates have a distinctive profile that leads them to really stick out in the job application and graduate school admissions process. And just to finish up, we're a Common App school. We are one of the 80 plus US colleges that is test blind or test free, meaning that we do not look at SAT or ACT scores at all. And we perform a holistic application review. So thanks for your time, everybody. If you have any questions after listening to this, please feel free to email me. I'll go ahead and put my email in the chat. Thanks, Curtis.
All right, then we will keep things going with Edinboro University. And as a reminder, if you have any questions, drop those in the Q&A and we will get to them as we can.
Okay, just need to share my screen. Where is the screen share? That's okay. I can just go ahead and talk a little bit about Edinboro. So for those of you that don't know, Edinboro University is in the PACAC state system. So the PA state system of higher education. We are a smaller public college with about 4,300 students as of fall 2020. And so what that means is that students have the opportunity to develop close personal relationships with their professors and help build their careers. So we have lots of different majors to choose from. So the incoming fall 2021 class, the breakdown is as such. 19% of our incoming freshmen are art students, mostly in cinema and animation. And cinema and animation, in fact, have amassed about 6 Emmys in the past few years or so. So they are trained quite well. Followed up by education, 16% overall of our incoming freshmen. And then also biology and health science and pre-professional majors as well. So, you know, students that want to study pre-med or do the pre-med track with LACOM, or students that want to do pre-dental, pre-chiropractic, those kind of students that know exactly what they want to do, we have those pre-professional programs for them. We also have a very strong nursing program. 10% of our incoming freshmen are nursing students, followed by business, computer science, psychology, social work, criminal justice, and speech and hearing sciences. So some of our reviews, just to give ourselves a little pat on the back. So our nursing program is recognized as one of America's best in the East, and we boast a 98% NCLEX pass rate for that nursing exam, so our students are certainly trained. And then our School of Education is one of the top 10 teaching preparation programs in the state of PA, and we're one of only a handful with a CAPE accreditation. So we are number 15 in top animation schools and colleges on the East Coast. We also are number 5 in game schools and colleges in Pennsylvania. And we also have 25 award-winning nationally accredited graduate programs in arts, business, communications, counseling, education, nursing, and psychology and social work. So what's really important for students and parents alike is that 90% of our graduates are either employed or attending graduate or professional school within a year of graduating. And the average starting salary of Edinboro graduates is about $41,443. So our students are trained and prepared and ready to be out in the world. Some of the features and the services that are provided for students in our Learning Commons feature the Career Development Office. So, you know, students that either know exactly what they want to major in or undecided can certainly take advantage. So in the Career Development Office, they help you with things like figuring out what search terms you need for a job that you'd like, or practicing interviews, or just preparing you to get that resume and CV put together before you even start looking for a job. We also have our academic success coordinators that are housed here in the Learning Commons, and they are responsible for creating the schedule for our incoming freshmen and also helping to facilitate that you're taking the right courses as you continue on with your college career. We also feature tutoring services as well, and the writing center. And so, if students are struggling with courses, we certainly have the support to help carry you through. And I always tell students that, if you are one that excels in a particular topic, be it chemistry or biology or writing, you certainly have the opportunity to work in one of these offices and help out your fellow Fighting Scott. So one thing that's awesome about our housing on campus is that we do guarantee housing for all 4 years at Edinboro University. And so those housing contracts are in 2-year cycles. So if you are outside of the 50-mile radius of Edinboro University, so that means you do need to stay on campus with us. And so we do feature traditional style housing, traditional dormitories where you have a roommate and you have a shared bathroom on the floor. And Lawrence Towers is one of the dorms where actually you can have a pet with you. So a small dog or a cat. So that's one really nice feature if you want to bring a little bit of home with you. And then we also have living learning communities as well. So anything related to your major or your lifestyle, there's certainly an option to live amongst people who share the same values or have the same sort of routine. So in addition to that, some other really cool features about campus is that we do have shuttle services for students that is free to use, free of charge, just showing your student ID. And there are 3 shuttles that operate during the school year where you can get around campus. It does get a little bit cold here. We're not too far from Lake Erie. We get that lake effect snow sometimes. So you can take that shuttle around campus. You can take that shuttle around the town of Edinboro if you need to get groceries, or you can take it up to Erie, catch a game at the stadium, or go to the mall. Another really great thing is that we do allow our freshman students to have their vehicles with them. It's only $75 for the academic year, so it is very affordable. So like I said, there's plenty of space for everyone on campus. Now, of course, a really important part of going to college and campus life is just getting involved. So I'm pleased to share that we have over 140 clubs and organizations. We have club sports ranging from equestrian to baseball to fly fishing. And then we also have student organizations around campus ministry or being a student ambassador or Greek life or student government. So plenty of options to get involved. And I always tell students, if there's a club that doesn't exist on campus, all you need is a handful of friends and a faculty advisor, and you can be the one to get something started that really has some longevity on campus. So just one way to leave a little part of yourself here at Edinboro. We also have 19 varsity sports. We have 16 NCAA Division II sports, and then we also have men's wrestling, which is Division I. And then we also feature esports. So our university, Edinboro, competes in gaming, which is really cool. And then we also have wheelchair basketball, which is co-ed. So the business end of applying, we are a Common App school, and we also allow students to apply on our website. And so those have been open for since the summer, so you can certainly apply. We do participate in rolling admissions. So November 1st is our early action deadline. And February 1st is the freshman priority deadline. And so we have those deadlines set up just to ensure that students apply so you can be eligible for scholarship money. We have quite a few renewable scholarships through the admissions office and through the Honors College, and in addition to one-time scholarships as well. So I'm pleased to say that majority of our applicants so far at Edinboro University have been able to receive renewable scholarships. So just to give you an idea of our freshman profile, the average high school GPA is a 3.56, with the average SAT score of a 1068 and the average ACT score of a 21. And so we do have really smart students at Edinboro University. But I did want to take a moment to point out that we are test optional moving forward just because of COVID. So if you are not, pleased with your SAT or ACT score, that is okay. You don't have to have it. But if you do submit your SAT or ACT score, we do have to look at it and assess because we are test optional, but not test blind. So just applying, you can apply on our website, like I said, electronically on the Common App, and then put in your, pay the fee. And then, just as a thank you for stopping in on this session, you can use the fee waiver code EU2122. And then you just need to provide your high school transcripts, and just reach out to your counselor and have them send them to us. And then any transcripts if you took any AP exams, or if you are dually enrolled or were dually enrolled and took some college coursework. I mentioned the Honors College a little bit and how there are some benefits and renewable scholarships. And so it is certainly worth checking out. If you have a 3.9 and above, you will be automatically invited to the Honors College. And so it's nice because you get merit-based scholarships, priority scheduling, and then you get a mentor in the honors program. So just an added benefit. And so those merit-based scholarships in the admissions office, one of them is the President's Excellence Award, and that ranges from $1,500 up to $5,000. So, theoretically, if you're in the higher range of the GPA, so a 3.9 or 4.0, theoretically, you could save $20,000 in your state education. So it's quite wonderful. So, after you apply, you just need to submit your $100 advanced tuition deposit by May 1st, and then complete your housing application by May 15th. And that's just going to allow you to receive your class schedule and then get information about orientation. And so I will leave information about Edinboro in the chat because I wasn't able to share my screen. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here amongst you guys today. Thanks.
All right, and I'll turn it over to our final institution of the night, which is going to be Moravian University.
So my name is Sarah Jane Groves. I am another one of the admissions counselors here at Moravian. I'll quickly go through it because I know that we are starting to run out of some time. But Moravian is now a university as of July 1st of 2021. So while we have only just become a university, please know that we have been running as a university for several years. So nothing really about our education or our community is changing, just our name. Okay, so Moravian is located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Pictured here is Brethren's Hall, which is home to our music program, and our art department is also located on this south campus. Moravian was technically built in a different country. Back then it was built in 1742, which used to be England rather than the United States. So we are older than the country itself. And Brethren's Hall was actually used as a field hospital and was visited by George Washington during the Revolutionary War, which is pretty neat. But where our South Campus is located, you can see we are located on Main Street in Bethlehem. If you're not familiar with Bethlehem or the Lehigh Valley in general, you are certainly in for a treat. We are about 60 miles north of Philadelphia and about 90 minutes from New York City as well. But think of Moravian as a smaller little quaint town with a lot of active residents and tons of smaller scaled festivities that are happening all of the time. There are a ton of countryside and mountains close by too. So while you can see all of the city lights here in Bethlehem, please know that, within about 30 minutes is my favorite hiking trail in the Appalachians, which is awesome. And then location wise, you get the best of both worlds at Moravian. You have a nicely sized and secluded campus with right down the street, the active city center of Bethlehem. Where our South Campus is located is in the historic side, and then all the way across, if you can see that bridge, then is south side of campus. So if you've heard of Lehigh University, we're about 5 minutes down the bridge from them. So while our roots and our status as the 6th oldest institution in the country are certainly important to us, we also have made sure that our students still receive a state-of-the-art and transformational educational experience. So from our oldest building on campus to our newest building, which is the Sally Bridham Center for the Health Sciences, it features the only virtual cadaver lab in the Lehigh Valley. Valley, which is so neat for all of our health science and our nursing students to be able to utilize. We've put a ton of resources across our campus to be able to keep our students' education up to date with the latest advances in modern technology. One example of that is the fact that Moravian is an Apple Distinguished school. We became Apple Distinguished back in 2018 and have since renewed our designation up until 2024 now, which is great to know. All of our incoming students receive a MacBook Pro, iPad, and Apple Pen to be able to utilize with your education. We are a completely wireless campus. All staff, faculty, and students are on this Apple technology as well, which means that with thinking about the pandemic, right, Moravian was prepared for it before it ever came around. Our students didn't miss a single day of classes because of technology that we already had in place. All of our TVs and screens all over campus are also Bluetooth and Apple Play enabled. So if you really wanted to, you can make a study space out of the hallway in any of our lecture halls or other buildings on campus. Our students receive this technology at the end of their senior year, so they have the entire summer and a little bit of their senior year left to get used to it. That way, when they come to campus, they are ready to go and used to it. Students will use this for all 4 years. It's brand new technology, and they take it with them when they graduate. So how do we put all of that technology to use? At Moravian, we have over 70 different programs of study. Most popular would be our nursing and our health science programs, as well as education and business and natural sciences. We are also widely known for our amazing music programs. I am also a little bit biased because I am the music liaison for the admissions office, but it really is an incredible program at Moravian. We also have the ability to double major, have a major and a minor, or you can even self-design as well. So if you're seeing something that might not be at Moravian, but you're super interested in it, we have the ability to help you self-design that in addition to some of the other local schools that are nearby to us. That way you can fill in all of those different programs. At Moravian, you are not only learning inside of the classroom, but also outside of the classroom through a lot of different hands-on experiences, which I will get to in a little bit. As part of being a liberal arts university, you'll still be taking classes that are outside of your specific major of interest, which we call our Link or Learning in Common program at Moravian. At Moravian, we have just under 2,000 undergraduate day students. Our average class size is 17, and our student faculty ratio is 11:1. So your professors really do want to get to know you, want to have a relationship with them, and are almost always available. They're easily accessible through office hours, emails, phone numbers, all of that. But office hours are a great way to ask questions about what you're learning in class, getting to know them better. And trust me, the better you know your professors and the better they know you, the better it is for you. Thinking about learning outside of the classroom, we have a wide variety of opportunities to get involved with over 80 different clubs and organizations on campus, whether they are major specific or honor society, a ton of community service organizations, music ensembles that you do not have to be a music major in order to participate in. We also have a good variety of Greek life on campus. About 20% of our students are partaking in Greek life. And two of our largest organizations on campus, think about United Student Government and then our Moravian Activities Council. They are the biggest event planners on campus. Right now is our homecoming week, so they have planning and programming every single day this week leading up to a homecoming parade on Saturday. We also have 22 different Division III varsity sports on campus. We are in the Landmark and Centennial conferences. Our newest sport is swimming. This is their inaugural year, and about a third of our students participate in athletics in some type or form. In addition to being a D3 school, we also have club sports, for example, rugby, cheerleading, esports, and also intramurals as well. We have a lot of school spirit on campus. Our community is very tight-knit as well. So it really is highly encouraged for you to get involved on campus and participate. A ton of different hands-on experiences that you can partake in, thinking about internships, externships, study abroad opportunities, community service, and clinical placements. Thinking about clinical placements and teaching experiences as well. A lot of those start spring of your freshman year. For our nursing students, they get over 1,000 hours of clinical hours, which is fantastic for them to get that hands-on experience. And a lot of our nursing students and education students, in fact, know where they're going to be working prior to graduation in their senior year, which I think is pretty cool. Thinking about studying abroad, we have semester-long trips, but if that is a little bit too long for you, we also have spring break and May term as well. During this past academic year, our students completed over 22,000 different hours of service on campus in 60 different locations, whether it was local, across the country, or around the globe as well. About 71% of Moravian University students participate in some form of civic engagement each year. It's also really important for you to learn by doing. We have a lot of different research opportunities for students. One that I would highlight would be our Student Opportunity for Academic Research, which provides stipends and support for students in any major who is engaged in scholarly research or creative activity with a faculty member. It's not just for science students, but research is for, psychology, math, history, English, music students, really whatever you'd like, you can research, and we want to support you with that. All of those hands-on experiences that we have had for years are now wrapped up in this really pretty bow as part of the Elevate program. You will have an advising team as part of Elevate that you'll meet with for all 4 years. You have a dedicated faculty advisor, academic advisor, student success advisor, and career strategist, not just a career advisor, but a strategist that we've hired on to work with you for all 4 years. In association with the National Association for Colleges and Employers, we created 8 different badges, some of which are listed here, that students will complete over their 4 years. And then once students graduate with the Elevate program, though it's not required to graduate, when you do and you complete all of these badges, you'll get the Moravian University Career Promise, which is essentially Moravian putting our money where our mouth is. We know that we have a very impressive career outcome rate, which I'll mention right here, 97.81% for our most recent graduating class. So we are very comfortable with having this career promise for you. Quickly highlighting on application process, we are free to apply. We are rolling admissions as well. So if you want to get some of these schools that are here today out of the way, since their deadlines are coming up first, totally fine. But we are rolling admissions. We just started putting out our acceptance letters yesterday for students. And merit, 100% of students receive some form of academic scholarships as well. You're automatically qualified for that. And $42 million a year is out in financial aid from Moravian. I will stop sharing my screen.
Well, perfect. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. A couple quick things as we wrap up. When you close this window, you will see a link to a quick 5 question survey. So we would appreciate just any feedback you could provide on your experience here tonight. I would also encourage you to check back on the schedule and sign up for more sessions. We have so many more happening tonight and would love to see you there. And then finally, this session, as well as all of the other ones, are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. Thanks so much, y'all, and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye-bye.